Hi everyone, Leslie Mason from Essentially Active here. And what this session is literally my UTA Miler prep. And I'm putting all my lists together. We are about 3 weeks out. So, for those of you that may not know me, I love running up big hills in the mountains and I like going a really long way. And to date, that has involved distances up to that 100K, 110K mark, depending on what the event gives us. We know that there's always a little bit of leeway. And I am running my first ever 100-mile race at Ultra Trail Australia in May 2025. And I am super excited. Training has been going well. I'm not going to really get into the details of that because this is more of a prep session. I've had a whole bunch of questions from my friends and different people about, okay, what are you doing now? Like now that it's 3 weeks out from race day, what's your focus? Things like taper, recovery, making sure that I feel as fresh as possible when I get to that start line. Okay, because getting to that start line as fresh as possible is what is going to give us our best chance of doing well in the miler. So if you have niggles, stresses, any kind of scenarios, now is the time to back off training and focus on you, focus on the body, focus on the mind, okay? Which is super cool. I am just going to blur the background so that it doesn't keep bumping in and out. Now the camera won't move. Anyway, so literally what I'm going to do today is I am going to open up a Google Sheet and we are going to talk through all of my planning. So I had a planning session, sort of some time scheduled out, and we're going to go through all of that. This weekend is my last big weekend, so I've got a big long run literally tomorrow. And then it comes down to taper, recovery, preparation, body, mind, spirit, and also minimizing stress by getting organized early. Yeah, not leaving everything to the last minute because let's face it, unfortunately, I am not a professional athlete. And because I'm not a professional athlete, I have to manage life amongst everything else. So being prepared is the best way to do it. Now I'm going to share my screen. So what I am literally going to share is going to be Google Sheets, and I'm so bad at this. Not as bad as I think, I guess. Okay, so this is literally a Google Sheet. I've literally titled it Leslie's Miler Prep. The idea here is that I've got like one wide column and a couple shorter ones next to it. Ultimately, what I'm going to do is use the wider column for my list of stuff. Okay, then I'm going to add I've got another couple of columns up my sleeve so that I can add things like dates or categories. And so then I can sort the sheet. And that's the reason I use a spreadsheet, because I can then sort things by priority, etc., if I want. Now, on top of that, I use a Google Sheet as opposed to Excel because I want this to come up in my Google Drive. Why? Quite simply, I want to be able to get it like on my phone, on my laptop, on my tablet, wherever. I don't want to be sort of caught out, and so that way I can add to it as things come up, and I don't have to wait till I can log into Excel to do that. Yes, you can also use OneDrive for that, but I find the Google Suite super useful. But I guess however you do it, have it so that you can access it on multiple devices. You can potentially even share this with your crew and tag them in tasks if you wanted to. So, hey, let's go. So the first thing I'm going to put here is really gear check. Okay, gear check is super important. Now, what about gear check do we want to do? Now, the first thing I'm going to pop on the list here is clean soft flasks and bladders. Because why do we want to do this? We have been using these a lot in training. And let's face it, at best case scenario, they're getting just a quick rinse out in between because we're using them so frequently. And when we're using things like drink mixers, any kind of carb in them is going to give us an environment for mold. So we want to clean it out. So what I do, right, is I use the dōTERRA On Guard Cleaner Concentrate. Yep, I'm going to talk product here because it's super useful. The reason I love the On Guard Cleaner Concentrate is that it's non-toxic. So if you do have residue in the flasks, the taste is minimal. The taste isn't bad, and also it's non-toxic, so it's not going to react with your gut or anything like that. Now, the other thing I'm going to say here is invest in a good cleaning system. So things like our scrubbing brushes of different sizes, right? So that you can get into different parts of your flasks and bladder. Also, like this is a really cool one. It's a really long, thin one that can go all the way through our mouthpiece tubes and so forth. If you have mold in your flasks, what do we do? Okay, so yes, you can use like those denture tablets and so forth, but I really like low tox options, as many of you know, because dōTERRA is something that's strong to my heart. And also, I want to take off load. See, this is the thing is I've been adding load with training. I don't want synthetic chemicals from cleaning products to actually add to my load. I need my body to adapt to my training now. So I use the On Guard Clean Concentrate. If that's not quite enough and there's mold hanging around, I soak the flasks in a combination of vinegar and baking soda and keep scrubbing away, right? Keep scrubbing there at it. And that is super important too. Yeah. Now, when we get that vinegar and baking soda in the water, you can add some cleaning concentrate to that and then get in that scrubbing. Now, if that still doesn't work, guys, ditch the flask, right? If the mold keeps coming back in the same flask and the same bladder, replace it and replace it now. You do not want mold to get into your brain because it's in your drinking water when you're out there for hours and hours running. Like I'm going to be out there for 40 hours plus, right? I do not need mold in any of those flasks. Okay. Now, in terms of the other gear, right? It's like, what do you need? For example, I need to, and this is my list, buy extra head torch and rechargeable batteries. And here I am literally adding on, this is a buy column, right? And so I know that, hey, if I needed to sort things by buying them, boom, I can do that. I could even add in this column something to budget buy, which is super cool there too. Then, okay, does anything need repairs? Do I need to soak my hydration vest because it's been used so much and I just need to give it a good soak? Now, again, for this, I actually use dōTERRA laundry powder because, again, it's low tox. It's not going to like eat too much at the fabric, and it's a good soaker. And so that will just mean that we're getting any extra bits and bobs out of that hydration vest because, again, it's been dealing with a lot, right? It's been dealing with a lot. I'm going to just add here. This is the dōTERRA On Guard Cleaner Concentrate. Now, all of these things have multiple uses, right? But I'm just using them in the context of, hey, this is how I use them in terms of my running prep. Now, do you have everything you need? So let's think about shoes, mandatory gear, etc. Okay, go through the mandatory gear list now, guys. Go through it now. And then as a task, it's like, in this instance, I'm going to say, get gear check certificate. So for me, I want to actually go in advance to the running shop. And then I'm just going to call this a task. And yeah, I might be able to buy that extra head torch at the same time as getting the gear check certificate. Okay. So this is like a key action. Right. So they're all tasks, but in terms of if I need to go somewhere else, so that's why I've sort of said the action, because I'm going to need to make some time in my day and schedule that in, because where I live, the gear check shops aren't really close by. So it's like a dedicated trip for me, or can I tie it in with another task? Okay, now let's keep going here. And so, yep, we've checked our gear, and now we're going to do a body check. Now, the body check is super important, right? How am I feeling? Right? Have a real hard conversation with yourself, right? We want to think about, okay, do we have what kind of fatigue? Let's look at the types, right? Is it stress, muscles, something more? Right? Ask ourselves these questions, particularly like in the couple of days coming after your longest run. So I'll be doing this like next week. This is really where I'll need to be assessing myself. And then here we go. Let's make any appointments needed. So for me, this is like a chiro / physio / osteo / massage for the body. Do we need to get like podiatrist? This could be for a pedicure. Like, is it a pedi or other things? Right. Do we need to see a doctor? Right. I know that sounds pretty extreme, but is there anything going with you that you need to see the doctor? Do it now. There's 3 weeks to get this sorted. Okay. Ignoring it is not so great. Now, what is your sleep like? So is it long enough, continuous enough, right? Feeling like, is it feeling sufficient for recovery? Because this is essentially where we're at the moment, guys. Like, we are at a point where, when we talk about feeling sufficient for recovery, right, we need our body to adapt with what's going on and really deal with that. Okay. Now, what do we need then on top of that? We've asked those questions. Now, what tools, what routines do we need to put in place? So sleep routine between now and race day. So what are we putting in our diffuser? Diffuser oils. So for me, that is Shinrin Yoku. So that's the Shinrin Yoku, I didn't spell that right, Shinrin Ryoku blend in the diffuser every night. That is also going to help lower cortisol, which is going to facilitate the adaptation to my training. Then we're going to have baths, right? Baths with Epsom salts and oils. So here we're going to put things like Aroma Touch, right? Or ice blue blend, etc. Or anything that kind of works for you. Okay. And this is what we're doing before bed. On top of that, okay, we want to have kind of like our two-step system. On top, so we're adding that second step is like what topical oils before bed. And this is going to be our lavender piece sleep stick, which is super cool. It has in it lavender piece and valerian, and we can literally pop it on our pulse points. Okay. This helps us get to sleep quicker and potentially stay asleep. If we wake up in the middle of the night, we can easily reapply. So keep that by your bed. And it is something that you can do every day. Now, soles of the feet as well. We could also use the lavender piece oil or cedarwood, lavender or valerian on its own. And then, of course, the sleep stick. Now, the sleep system typically involves diffuser plus topical. And then I actually suggest pre-race adding in regular baths because heat therapy, we want to take advantage of the heat therapy, right? So heat therapy can also is both baths and sauna. But let's face it, baths cheaper than the sauna from my point of view. So we're going to keep going with that. Okay. So if the other thing here is I've actually got shopping lists going at the same time, guys. So I will have a shopping list of the things I need to buy. And if, for example, I need lavender piece oil, right? Because I forgot, I can put buy in the column here. I can put buy over here, and then I can add that to my next dōTERRA order, for example. So then we've got, okay, race day planning. This is how, okay, fueling and hydration. We want to make a list, right? We want to make a list of what we need to buy, and that way we can start buying it between now and then, and we don't have to do one massive shop unless, of course, that's the way we want to. Or we could even do an online order, which makes life super easy. So what I'm going to add under here is the dōTERRA oils, that the dōTERRA products actually that I need to get. I'll take you through those. So I need Meta Power Recharge, and Meta Power Advantage. Excuse me, spelling, because I'm just sort of doing this on the fly. Okay, so Recharge, this is electrolytes, and so that's in my US order. And then Meta Power Advantage is collagen. I use both of these during the race, but actually between now and race day, this Meta Power Advantage, which are these orange sachets, these are hydrolyzed collagen and also have got energy producing substances in them, which is pretty damn awesome. Now, normally I would typically have, say, one of these sachets a day. Between now and race day, I'll up this to 3 per day, right? So yes, it's a little bit of an investment, but it really just supports that adaptation in my soft tissues, joints, and the brain, and it makes me feel so much better. Now, the Recharge is the electrolytes. There is nothing like maltodextrin in it at all. It's based on coconut water, and we have all of our sodium, magnesium, calcium, potassium, etc. in that, as well as things like ginkgo biloba. So both of these are essential during the race for me. So I've actually popped my order in already. I also have my Mito to Max. Now, my Mito to Max is a supplement, right? It's in the MetaPower range as well. This is an energy and stamina complex. It's actually shown to improve our aerobic capacity and stamina. And so I use this after my long run. So as you can see, it's running out, but I also use it during my race, which is super cool. And it is approved, right, for use in athletic situations. On top of that, I have Ice Blue. Okay, we need to talk Ice Blue. So we have the stick. So the Ice Blue stick is what I have taking with me on race day. So it is literally a little stick with the sports rub in it, so I don't have to get my hands messy. What I also have is the Ice Blue rub, and so I want the stick and the rub because the rub, sometimes I just prefer the way it works, and it's just slightly different because it's a different texture. It penetrates the skin differently. And then also the polyphenols. Now, the polyphenols are really great for reducing inflammation, and it can be a great alternative to supporting muscle aches and pains compared to some other products that actually mess with your kidneys and so forth. The polyphenols are natural and work through that super well. So I use them instead, and that's the Ice Blue polyphenols. Now, on top of that, I have the Carbaiba soft gels. Now, Carbaiba, again, is like anti-inflammatory. It is the Carbaiba oil in a soft gel format. I will take the polyphenols and the Carbaiba soft gels at intervals during my race, just to help myself feeling awesome. Other thing I need to get my hands on is a refill of my past tense because it's empty. Now, this is amazing. It's stress minimizing. So I have been rolling this down my spine, and between now and race day, this is every morning, every night, been rolling down my spine just to facilitate regulating cortisol. Now, on race day itself, I use this because I can diffuse it to give myself a pick-me-up, right? If I'm feeling a bit low, instant tent diffuser. I can also use it to soothe my muscles as well, because typically I won't pop the Ice Blue stick in my hydration pack because it's a bit bulkier. I will use the past tense because it's a bit more multi-purpose. I also check that I've got things like my lip gloss sorted, right? And as I can see, I need to add this to my order, Correct-X. Now, Correct-X is an oily ointment. Let me pop these down here. So Correct-X is like chafing savior, I'm going to call this. And past tense is the tension blend. These are things that I just use all the time when I'm racing. And so now I'm literally checking, do I have enough of it on hand? Okay, do I have enough of it on hand? Now, at this point, let's talk drop bags. So firstly, this might be drop bags. Let's do this again. Drop bags or crew, right? So we might not be using them as a drop bag through the usage of like the UTA organization, but it's stuff that, what do we need per aid station for either to go in the drop bag or to go with our crew? So this is things like gear, hydration, fuel, backup stuff, like shoes, socks, shirts, etc. Right? And we want to work this out by aid station. Okay, so this is where I've kind of worked out at this point, I'm going to take X amount of time between when I see my crew. This is what kind of refills I'm going to need as I go along, and really plan that out. I can then have, like those little green bags that we get from the shops. for each aid station, and I can actually start popping stuff in there straight away, which I think is pretty cool. We can start putting stuff in it straight away and plan out now. And then I can just, hey, that's per each aid station, and then the crew know what to do. Okay, we've been through gear check, Leslie check. Now, what we need to do is, okay, immune system check, immune support. Now, we could be feeling fine. I can tell you now that we do not want to get sick between now and race day. So what I have on hand here, we have the On Guard chewables. We have Lifelong Vitality. Now, the Lifelong Vitality pack is actually, what are we talking about? This is our multivitamins, for want of a better word. So we want to make sure we've got our nutrition up and running. We've got our On Guard chewable. So this has got our vitamin C and our zinc and so forth. And so we're using any supplements as we needed. I am also using On Guard oil blend, along spine, and feet. Right, this is to help us deal with any kind of funky germs that we might get when we're out and about between now and race day, to help protect us. It's called the protective blend. So this is On Guard itself. It's protective blend. Smells all spicy. If there's anything that we need to protect ourselves from, it is from different germs. Now we've also got the hand sanitizer, and that's what I take with me on race day as well, because you've got portaloos and so forth. So that is all there. So this is about protecting our bodies, right, before now and race day. Now, let's talk some supplies. So I'm going to put this in bold. So what I have here is I buy water, I buy food, etc. If you don't have to, minimize. We want to minimize reliance on aid stations. Why? It's actually coming back here to this immune support side, guys, because I really don't want to get a tummy bug from water and things, or if people have got a tummy bug and then they've touched a bowl of food, I'm not interested in that. On top of this, right, okay, I know that I'm keto, so there's not a lot of stuff at the aid stations that supports me, but I just don't want to be putting myself at risk of a tummy bug when I'm out there for 40 odd hours. So I think that is pretty important. So this is now, guys, essentially my list, right? And how I'm going to support. I will then go through and sort of tweak this up and categorize it, and then I can sort it and put it into action steps, turn it into a shopping list of things, and also just make sure that I'm not forgetting to check in on me, right? And this, how am I feeling? Let's just add to this, this is physical and mental. If you feel a tad overwhelmed, this is where something like the past tense comes really into play. If we're feeling a bit vulnerable and a bit lurgy-ish, that's where On Guard really comes into play. And let's work out, okay, do you need nutritional support? How are you going to dial in things that are going to support being adaptive between now and race day? Okay, I'm going to stop sharing that, guys. So I'm going to stop recording shortly so that I can answer questions privately. But if you're watching this on the replay, which is super cool, if you're watching this on the replay, feel free to pop questions in the comments, etc., or even contact me via email, leslie@essentiallyactive.com.au, and I can help you with your questions. I can help you with custom packs, etc. Now I am going to, before I go, share my screen again, purely because I'm going to show you how to get some of these products if you don't have them in your home already. Okay, so first thing, right, this is our simple solutions for runners, really, essentially. Now you can take a screenshot, scan these QR codes, and it'll take you straight to an order page, or you can always contact me and we can put a custom pack together. These packs don't necessarily go through every single product that I've talked about on today's sessions. For example, I don't have any pre-packs with the On Glide Cleaner Concentrate, but you could pick any of these and you can totally add them to your shopping cart once you do. So this simple solution starter bundle is pretty cool because we've got the ice blue rub, which, hey, supports the body. We've got lavender piece, which supports sleep, on guard, which supports immunity, and lemon, which supports cleaning, hydration. You can add it to your water if we want to stay hydrated, etc. Okay. Then here we've got our metabolism side of things. So it's the full MetaPower range plus the ice blue stick. Pretty cool. If we're thinking that energy and nutrition is the way to go, the whole starter pack here with MetaPower has the whole MetaPower kit, including the oil, etc., which you can add to your water, plus you've got your lifelong vitality. Now, if you've sort of said that you want some more support with sleep and stress, right, these are some options for you here. So this everything sleep, right, this has our two-step sleep system, which is lavender piece stick. It also has the oils which go with it. So we've got Shinrin Yoku, lavender piece, and valerian. And so you can use these in the diffuser, you can use them topically, you can put a drop on your pillow, you could add them to your bath before bed. Okay, this is the everything sleep is perfect. If this is the area that you want to target, you go for that. Then we've also got the mood management kit. Now, the mood management kit and the emotional wellness bundle are super useful because they have oils that will help us deal with stress. They will also support sleep. So there's some good options as well, particularly the emotional wellness bundle if you don't have a diffuser. So those are the key areas that if I were you, I would particularly focus on. However, here is this aches and pains bundle, which is particularly useful. This has the ice blue stick, the ice blue polyphenols, and the Kabiba soft gels. So if you are prone to aches and pains during your run or you're a bit achy and painy, this would be an area that you could absolutely start with, guys. Then add things like your On Guard, right? Add things like your Correct X. Or if you like the idea of mucking around with yours a bit and experimenting, and this is where we can work together one-on-one, you've got like a starter kit of oils, which we can actually use this starter kit to put like custom solutions in place between now and race day for you. Okay. So I'm going to stop sharing. So hopefully you can, if you're watching this on replay, you can pause it, take screenshots. But as I always said, feel free to contact me at any time. So essentially active on Instagram and Facebook. My email is leslie@essentiallyactive.com.au. So for everybody that is training for UTA, this strategy and this process can apply for you, but go and do it. I'd love to hear some comments about what you're prioritizing between now and race day. And yeah, thanks for your time, legends. Run on. And you know what I always say? Yay, hills. Excellent. Thanks a lot, guys.